doesn't officially have a job description, but
There we go.
she is a spook. Yes, we're gonna keep playing Persona 4 music because we're half in setting, half not.
It's a casual day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's, I mean,
I like
freaking
that
O's not even here, and also Kirsty's not gonna show up. So
I mean, you don't know. Like she could get so fucking
she'll get so
plastered.
drunk and then she'll hop up.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to play.
Yeah.
D&D. I mean, she said that once, hasn't she? She's actually hopped on once while pished.
I've done that too, but I went to someone's birthday party. I got fucking slammed.
Nice.
And I spent most of the party on my on my phone on Discord talking to the DM.
At least
And
you
like-
get the priorities right.
Hello, oh.
That was right.
Nobody, I'm deafened now.
Oh, okay.
What am I trying to do here?
You aren't doing anything with this slide. This is basically just for...
No, not here, but like I'm saying this in real life right now. I've moved windows around and now I'm super fucking confused. Like I have dementia.
Well, I mean, you finished your spells and everything, so...
Oh, yeah, I need to put my name.
Yeah, you do
I
need
need
a
a
character name.
4 level. Okay, that's what I had ready. That's what I was doing. Ah, fuck, what a good meme.
But yeah. The slide, as a current, how are you gonna... I don't want to say witness protection, because that's not technically the case, but... how are you going to... counter assassination for Korg? It's basically your pick. Well, your pick. Loud. So loud. Yeah. So original crew get to have their say.
Wait, hello? What? That insinuates I don't get a say now.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I bought the fucking, what do you call it? The alpha bundle. The fuck, what do you call it?
The battle pass.
Yeah, the battle
The
pass,
season
dude. What the
pass.
fuck?
Oh, yeah, I'll post this for
The
you to
DMs.
see.
Dude, I kickstarted this bullshit.
I wish someone did.
What do you mean Cyberpunk's not ready?
Slide and ink slide. How do we deal with a meddlesome would-be assassin? Although, again, it is a dumb assassin that tells people that they're going to assassinate someone.
Yeah, bros would go with the middle one. She
fair.
doesn't think. Yeah, she doesn't think our group is stealthy enough for Abigail's plan, and she doesn't like the plant people.
Hey, those plant people are very skilled at hunting down people in cities.
I
Well,
don't
they
deny
don't-
that. She doesn't like them, though.
Okay,
That's fair.
I agree that you're talented. No. Anyways.
But, you know, like some casual elven racism.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't much care for that.
It's fine because it's casual, right?
Yeah.
keep it for cash.
As opposed to pro elven racism,
Which is high.
which I think is
Racism
called.
is always cool.
I was gonna say
Uh-huh.
Keep the
genocide.
change, you filthy casual.
Ah,
Also, you
Alright.
sounded like not
Yeah, you
even
sound like
robot. You sounded like 1990s robot.
No, he sounded good for me.
you sound distant.
But once again, I have Nitro, so I paid for good quality. You don't
He's
have the battle
binary.
pass.
Blow him up. He's a Terminator.
T1, T2, or T3?
Yeah.
So apparently, my headphones have some other setting that's not Bluetooth, but I don't know.
Oh,
what
never
the hell
mind.
it
I
is.
take it back. It's
Ah,
fucked.
Wait, you have a wireless headset or a wired headset?
I mean, I'm using.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how are you talking through it if you don't have Bluetooth in?
What is
Or
the
Well, I
mouth?
just had to set it to. I had to set it to the Bluetooth, and I had to figure out how to do.
You're so silly sometimes, dude.
With his mouth.
Haha.
Like the answer I'm giving you for free.
Big
I
brain
didn't
money.
realize this game is a pay to win.
I'm just,
Bro, it better be pay to win because I have.
that it's still here.
Oh, I left already. I left.
He did the meme earlier.
Yeah, he dipped for like 5 seconds and came
Oh.
back.
Oh,
It
I
was the
wasn't
most
like-
stressful 5 seconds.
Because you're like, what if the link doesn't work? That'd be awkward.
No. It was mostly like, what if they're so happy I left? They're like, out of the three.
I think we were just confused why, like, what happened. We thought you just like disconnected from the call and not left the server.
Ah, shit. I got.
Also, look at this guy. I love this guy.
Yeah, he looks like the Predator, but like less lethal.
If you
More
see the
lethal?
rest of
It's
his art, it makes a lot more sense why I have him for the ink bit. Let me see. Wait, where is
like-
it?
Is that like old MTV art?
Sorta yes, sorta no.
Uh-huh.
It's a rendition MTG art, so that's the rendition of it. And then this is the original.
I like how it goes from like stained glass to like, well, not. No, the stained glass one's way
Oh
cooler.
yeah, this guy. I know this guy. Hate this
Davrio.
card.
Rogue Shadow Mage.
Davrio Kane. Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, look at his hands. Look at the smoky black ink erupting from his hands. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, we have a winner.
Ding ding ding.
Oh yeah, Davrio. He's the to negotiate contracts.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, the one that Brandon Sanderson wrote about.
Brandon Sanderson wrote a book for him? Oh, that's cool. I do like that Brandon Sanderson like goes into other settings and just does like stories for like one-off stories.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool. That's fine.
I can't wait for George Martin to die, so he.
Yeah, so that he can take over Game of Thrones. Yeah, maybe we'll get an ending.
Martin is not the best with endings, I've heard. So
Oh well, I think he knows that, and I think he made so much money he doesn't care. He's willing to die and not have it finished. That way, it doesn't tarnish his legacy.
yeah.
Smart.
Gotta get that cash.
And you have to convince me otherwise.
I won't bother because it sounds pretty true.
I just felt like the pride and accomplishment of watching Jamie die.
I mean, you could like Dumb and Dumber for that one. I don't have the book yet.
I tried to watch Sherlock and Watson or watch like wherever that movie was with like Will Ferrell and what's his
Oh,
face?
with
Dumb Dumber.
But no,
Bill O'Reilly.
not Dumb Dumber. By Bill O'Reilly.
yeah.
And
Step
I
Bros.
literally when the movie came out like 3 years ago, someone told me that, or 2 years ago, whenever it came out, someone told me that like it's impossible to watch over 3 minutes. Like 2 minutes in, you know it's an awful fucking movie. And like you can only
Not
watch it
surprised.
stoned. I try to watch it, and I kid you not, 2 minutes in, I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna revisit this one. I'm gonna revisit this when I'm absolutely fucking plastered.
So that's slide number 1. I'll get Kirsty's vote at a later
Oh
point.
yeah. Let me.
Did you just have a fucking hairball?
No, coffee went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, I thought.
The secret is out. Garth is actually Tabaxi.
Ah shit.
So you're furry.
Oh, he's,
I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, or Crash, which one?
I mean that's funny that you're waiting for to be called a fur. You know what? It's almost like you might be one.
Mm-hmm.
You give like a long
It's all
backstory about not being a furry.
It's only
Does
Look,
it
it's a
work
thing
for
of
you or
like, no
against
matter
you?
what I say, it would just dig a deeper hole or bring up more memes. and shit.
Oh,
So it's
holes!
like,
You are furry. Done deal.
God damn it. See what I mean?
Done deal, dude.
There's no winning.
A non-furry would have had a different answer. You found a 1 in a billion chance to cement yourself.
So, yeah, I'll get Kirsty's vote on this later. I genuinely have no fucking clue what you would vote. So, yeah. Now let's go to the next slide. So this, over the course of the 3 weeks you have off, you can basically imagine that at the end or middle of the week. I want to call these incidents, but events. One of these events happens.
Some bullshit happens.
There's some stuff on the personal level, but I wanted to do 3 for the group level. And actually, no. Before I continue, let's establish a timeline. Maybe we can get additional votes in here by getting additional people in here. So yeah, let's talk about that. Fred or Sev, who wants to go first?
I'll have to read this then. Tell me not to read this. Give me a second.
No. You don't have to read this right now. Maybe the
okay.
next one, but yeah, who wants to go first in the sense of we want to talk about your back or how you get into the game, how you get into the setting, and no through the womb jokes or some dumb shit like that. None of that. No.
That's so uncalled for, dude. What the fuck?
Oh yeah.
What are you insinuating?
It's so fucked up. That's very uncomfortable too. A little bit too graphic.
Right.
I don't know. Garth, are you have an idea? Or do you want me to go first?
It'll be you and Fred.
Yeah, because you guys are the new people.
Oh, Fred, you have an idea? Or do you want me to go first?
If you have something fleshed out, feel free.
I think I have enough of.
This is gonna be for the whole group to know. By the way, like we can't hide you guys entering the group from the group.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
I was. I think because when we spoke like a month ago, by this time, it was I think so. Right, it was probably was a fucking month. Oh.
11/28, so nearly a month.
I think I would be. It's up in the air whether I'd be recruited because I still don't know much about the world.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let me run you do the run ringer first. Look, we'll start in the old world. Welcome to the provincial old world. Nice place. I believe I showed you this map already.
Yes, and you also give me rough. You probably copy pasted, yeah.
Yeah. The Spark Notes.
Yeah, and I think it came from Silfwall.
Going from Silfwall, classic. I believe we said Southern Silfwall, but I could be wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Remembering correctly. Yeah, Southern Silfwall is definitely of the Northern or Southern halves, probably the more, I want to say, lenient, progressive, diplomatic sort. Northern Silfwall is pretty martial and cold cut. That's not to say the entire province isn't martial and cold cut, but there's a gradient, so to speak.
Is this party's group like a division of some kind of army?
Yeah, so that moves into the New World. No, there's not a map in the New World. That's why it's new. Imagine the colonies of the 13 original colonies would have had a really fucking easy time. They had the map of this entire U.S. when they arrived here.
Really skittish.
Really skittish. It's coffee. But yeah, the New World is, well, as of right now, you guys are the second wave. So there was a first wave of colonization efforts about a decade ago. Halfway through that decade, all communication was lost with the new continent, which is called the Jagged Expanse, the Carved Expanse. It has sort of interchangeable terms. Connection was reestablished, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. I think it's actually 2.5. 2.5 years ago, which is something referred to as the Royal Wave, because that's what it was filled with: royal guards and that sort of the like of that. During that time, they found out basically 97% of supplies, people, etc. effort was wiped out. So in the towns of dozens and dozens, several dozen, there are only 3 remaining on the coast. And the northern coast, the middle of the continent coast, and then the southern coast. Again, the equivalencies of like Florida, Maine, and Nova Scotia. Like that sort of distance from one another. There are other colonization efforts here. Hey, you fixed your mic.
Is that better?
Yes, tremendously so.
That's pretty hot.
I switched to my corded one.
There you go, bud.
That one looks expensive. So yeah, there is another colonization effort here in the I need more coffee. The Jagged Expanse, and Elven colonization efforts. The provinces have 3 remaining colonies. They only have 2. Well,
Betas.
2.5. Both sides have 2.5. because the middle colony for the provinces is a place called. I'll type it here for you. But Ballaston.
Looks like we got our next mission.
Take out the elves.
Ballaston is a joint colony.
Mhm.
It's a diplomatic colony, you might call it, for elves who have their own entire continent, which is not pictured here. Dwarves are in these mountains here, so they don't really give a flying fuck about a new continent. We're just gonna dig down, lol.
We're always
pretty
finding
solid
new
strategy. Pretty solid strategy, honestly. But yeah, the incident itself is referred to collectively as the Night of Tempest. I think it's been alluded to several times at this point. No one knows if the Night of Tempest is actually a single night, or if it was just eternally night for the span of a few days, or something along that line. Regardless, if it was a single night, it certainly felt like a fucking eternity for the survivors, who are the first waivers. So, the NPCs you see here, with the exception of Jessie here, that's who she is. So this is Darshi. This is Orist. They're siblings. They're twins. They don't like people, especially non-elves. This is Lena. This is the commander of your guys' force, which I'll get to in a moment. This is Jessie, and you don't have to take it, but she's definitely the easiest way into the story if we need it. She is a special assignment person. And
She's
then...
a dilettante.
I don't know what that means.
Is it a
Whatever.
military
And
term
this is
that
Abigail
goes-
Merrick. This is your guys' party NPCs, your designated healers. They're first waivers. So they... Let's see, where are they? I think it was either 17 and 16 or 16 and 15. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, they were in the Night of Tempest as civilians.
Okay.
What happened on the Night of Tempest?
And the Night of Tempest, yeah.
On the Night of Tempest, there is an indigenous creature to this continent. It is referred to at... Oh, so what is this? Cultivates and such as our... Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair, a pretty apt description of Jesse, actually. Jack of all trades. Yeah, so there is something on this island referred to collectively as Scornken. Really straightforward name. You know, they do suck. They are evil incarnate. They are immensely adaptive. That is sort of one of the... I know that some people want to do research into that even. Or at least, I know O did. I think Garth might have helped with that. Anyways.
I had interest in it, but I also didn't have much of a lead on where to go with it.
Yeah. They are adaptive creatures which... do you know Skaven from Warhammer? By any chance?
No, I don't know. I've never played Warhammer.
That's fine. I'll put it like this. Scornken are a clan-based group, a clan-based race. They don't really... they don't speak common. Some of them can't speak at all. Some of them have mystical power, some of them don't. But the sort of catch to them is that since they're clan-based, they're rivalistic and antagonistic towards everything, including each other. The Night of Tempest was the sole instance in which they all work together. Yeah. So imagine an entire continent of really angry... They earned the term Scorn, by the way. Really angry, really violent creatures all work together. That's what the Night of Tempest is. You could call it a continent-wide calamity.
Okay, so bad day. Bloody Sunday.
Basically.
Someday.
Let me change the music. No, it's been a while since we heard some pyre music of a traveling nature.
He's the best pirate I've ever seen. Yes, he is.
Wait, big brain.
Damn butt pirates.
Actually, no, maybe we'll go for some transistor music. Because we're not in the set. We'll go for Old Friends, because that is a classic. Classic. Play. So yeah, that's what happened. The Night of Tempest happened halfway through the decade. Thereabout. Maybe, I think it might have been 6 years. But anyways, nonetheless, it happened and it wiped out everything. Or nearly everything, rather. It was put in the campaign premise at the time, but I will reiterate here. There is something with this continent. Something weird. In a magical sense. Long-term teleportation, or long-distance teleportations and stuff like that doesn't work here. It outright doesn't. They found some a loophole through that. So it's a lot faster in the second wave, but no one really knew about it going into the first wave, which is sort of why they put so much effort into doing this. Now, why did we come out here in the first place? Because through sources that no one can confirm,
the best sources. Everyone says the Spectral Watch. Probably true.
The hell?
The Special Watch or Spooks?
Oh, I heard spectral, not special.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Hey, maybe wouldn't that be some shit? If you die in the Special Watch, you join the Spectral Watch.
You're just
Anyway.
astral forms.
It's like the Twilight Suffoker in Skyrim. Anyways, yeah. There are traitors on this continent. That's what the sources confirm. And the colony, or the provinces, didn't want an entire continent given to a traitorous force. So they decided to get here first. Also, the elves were coming here, too, so we can't let the elves have another continent. Win-win.
Pokemon cards.
There are traitors abound. They have shown themselves here and there in the first wave. Although...
Like traitors before the wave?
They're traitors in the wave.
Nice.
But yeah, they showed themselves before the wave. They tried to assassinate the current king when he was a young child. I believe he was 11 or so when the assassination attempt happened. They failed. Luckily, thanks to Royal Guardsmen and Special Watch, but nonetheless, it was the beginning of their political agenda, you might call it. They have openly... Okay, terrorist groups, traitors, rebellions, freedom fighters, whatever you want to call them, they have PR. That is actually a part of it. So yes, as there was, I'm pretty sure we posted before.
PR?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we posted before, like Taliban PR representative or something like that. But anyways, the PR in the sense of they want to manipulate or coerce or whatever how the public perceives them. The traitors have that. They've been doing that. They refer to them. Oh, wrong channel. They refer simply as the Cascade. What is our political agenda? They say they will show everyone the true way of things. Mysterious, I know. Vague, I know. No one really gives a shit when you put it that way. Not good at recruiting, I know. But so do they. Regardless, it's enough. They were the ones that openly outed themselves as, yes, we attempted it. We attempted to kill the king. Get rid of the king, and the rest of you might be freed from some pre-existing dogma and shackles. And we can tell you how things really work. Whatever. They failed, and the crown doesn't like having an entire continent of traitors. So that's what caused the first wave to even happen in the first place. Now, keep in mind, the continent wasn't known about when the king was a kid. Like, it wasn't like, we'll go with it right now. We didn't know the continent exists. But once they did find out and confirmed through their sources and stuff like that, that this is where the traitors have their quote-unquote hideouts, that's when they came over. And, you know, the elves are doing elf things. Checking up on slumbering gods, perhaps. Nonetheless, that's the first wave. Then came the Night of Tempest. Then came the Royal Wave. Between the Night of Tempest and the Royal Wave, basically every town, city, whatever you want to determine them as, had no communication with any of the other colonies. They had no way of knowing if any of the other colonies were even alive, so they were sort of self-sufficient. Which is, yeah. So as a result of the Royal Wave, more troops were put in, more people, manpower, resources, etc. And the town managed to rebuild itself. and this is Drift.
So it was first wave, Night of the Tempest, then it was the Royal Wave, right?
Yes. This is Driftweaver's Bay. Now, here's the thing. Trade and other ships and stuff like that do come and go from the colonies, but they are royally sponsored and overseen efforts. So if you want to be a merchant that trades all the way out here, you got to go through a hefty process to get the paperwork and supervision and stuff like that to do it. The waves refer to, I guess you might call them public waves, like where they actually do open it up to anyone can apply, versus the royal wave and other efforts where they're the ones picking certain people and stuff like that. But for the first and second waves, anyone was free to apply. It doesn't mean you got in, but anyone was free to apply, which is how all of you are here. Well, except Fred's new character, who's apparently a native of this land, so we'll talk about that in a moment. So, yeah, second wave got here about... Well, it depends on what we bring you on the story. If we bring you in, like, right at the beginning of the downtime period, then second wave has been here for a grand total of, I want to say, 1.5 to 2 weeks. Not that long a time. It would bring you in...
calamities did it cause since they came here?
I mean,
None so far. There have definitely been some first waiver versus second waiver incidents, but nothing that, you know, the City Watch or a stern disciplinary effort from the Expeditionary HQ.
although to be fair, we were probably 1 or 2 bad fights away from causing calamity, so, you know.
That's right. So yeah, which, speaking of Expeditionaries, that is sort of how the wave is divided. There are colonists, so these are like crafters, just general civilians, essentially. Maybe you're a really good tailor, they brought you into the wave. Maybe you're an armor, brought you into the wave. Farmer, brought you into the wave, etc., etc., etc. No more. It's a decently selective process because there's just only so many seats on the ships over. The other part, which is similarly selective but in a different manner, they're not checking for seats, they're checking for combat aptitude, magic aptitude, etc., etc. The other half is the Expeditionaries. So if all the colonials stay in the cities, who makes the new cities? Who pathfinds out? That's where the Expeditionaries come in. I guess you might call each of them an adventuring party.
Is this group an expeditionary?
Correct. And a bit more, but we'll get to that in a moment. BRB gotta go. Okay, well, Rose dies. What a shame. But yeah, Expeditionaries are the equivalencies of British commandos back in World War II. They are the equivalencies of each of them being an adventuring party. This is an entire force of PCs ready to hop into action, except they don't have a player to control them yet. You might call them that.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of dynamic personalities, quick-minded or slow-minded people here. True to the commandos of World War II, British commandos of World War II, you know, everyone here can fight. That's not the catch. The commandos back then they weren't selected just for their ability to fight. They're selected for their initiative, for their personality. This is a dynamic force. You guys have a boss, well, you have multiple bosses technically, but the director of the Expeditionary Forces is referred to as, or I prefer to, he is Ignacio for the Heartlands. He's the guy in charge of all of you as a collective whole, and it's his job to make sure that all of these dynamic personalities are dynamic against one another. Now, that is the way that the original group got in. Ignacio is also, as director of, you know, the entire force, he's unsurprisingly privy to a lot of things, and he has not an agenda, because that makes it sound like it's self-serving in some degree, but he has been tasked with doing certain things, and some of these things requires him to have a more covert expeditionary team, which is where the party is. Last quest that was just acted upon wasn't public. Now, of course, you guys are still getting paid, which we'll get to momentarily. Well, not momentarily, probably a good bit later. But yeah, that is where the current party is.
What was the last public quest that the party did?
None, technically.
Yeah, we
Because-
literally
because-
showed up, went on this mission in the ocean,
Yeah.
and that's been the technical.
Yeah,
campaign
because the
for-
first week of the second wave is just paperwork. Not like you you yourself have a week of paperwork. It's more over the expeditionary force has a week of paperwork. You are on the 4th day out of 7.
Wait, so how long was this campaign before I joined?
A bit, a few months.
Okay, and that was all that was in Watertown, right?
Yeah.
So let's see.
Well, most
1
of it.
through 4 was in town,
And then everything else was in the ocean.
and then 5 through
Okay.
22.
So 22,
Was underwater.
5 months. 5 months.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But nonetheless, not too much.
So
That's
there's,
sort of the
so there's
catch.
there's no reputation to precede any of us. Well, any of you
Not-
guys, right?
Not
Not
officially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not officially, but there are people that know things. Call them traitors, call them gossips, call them whatever. Not officially. I'm sure everyone probably noticed that you guys left. Like, no, okay, not everyone. Definitely not everyone. But there might be some select few people that aren't in the know that did notice you left town.
And then it came
Which
back
is
when
a-
the Watertown burned.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of the thing. Like, you aren't really allowed to just go, as of right now, in the beginning of the second wave, you're not really just allowed to just come and go from town. Like, it's a regulated process. Obviously, as the second wave expands out and out and out, that restriction will be less and less the further out you go. But you guys are all right now one concerted effort here that needs to be focused. Of course, there is a catch to that, which I'll get to momentarily. So, that's where Jesse comes in. Jesse is your guys's, well, not you, well, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, Jesse is your guys' liaison, contact, handler, friend, a bunch of different stuff. She's also the person in charge of liaisoning Expeditionary HQ back to what is referred to as the Royal Island, which is about a couple of days offshore. This is how they they loopholed the teleportation bit. It's like, okay, we can't teleport to the continent directly. How far away from the continent would we have to go before we could just start doing it again anyways? It turns out a couple of days.
Is
Your
it actually an
sacrifice will be
island?
honored in the coming empire.
Is it actually an island, or is it just a series of like ships that they have positioned?
It's an actual island.
Okay.
So yeah, Jesse is the liaison for Driftweaver's Bay back to that island. So if she ever disappears for a couple of days, that's probably because she has to go out there.
It's a lot of paperwork.
A lot of paperwork for her to throw at someone else, hopefully. But yeah, I said before, Jesse's also a spook. For whom? Who knows?
What do you mean
But-
by spook?
Nonetheless, she's on your guys' side, and she's a pretty chipper, loud-mouthed, outgoing sort of person. So just she is your guys' aid, quote unquote, to any situation potentially. Let's see, other important people. Well, but let's talk about your guys' commander. Her name's Lena. Commander Lena. She is the person above the red.
The person
I guess-
above who?
Above the red paragraph.
Okay.
That's her
Nice
commander.
arrow.
So
She's in charge of the
between
entire-
Ignacio. Okay, so she's above Ignacio.
No. So Ignacio's in charge of the all 3 colonies, expeditionary forces, and a logistical and administrative sense.
Okay.
Lena is the strategic person for Driftweaver's Bay in specific. So while you guys are here, you're under her control until Ignacio decides to reassign you to another colony or something else.
I see.
So she's your guys' more local commander.
For Drifter's Bay, right?
Yes.
So yeah, she's your guys' strategic support. She has experience. She's a first waver, obviously. She's been here all 10 years, and she was an initial expeditionary. Expeditionary work is pretty. There's very few ways out of being expeditionary outside of being maimed, or crippled or something along those lines, or KIA obviously.
Such
but,
as becoming a knight of a different nation.
Yeah, which is which, again, she tells you not to fucking keep doing that, or else I have to add a rule for it. But anyways, yeah, like expeditionary work. When you sign on to join as an expeditioner in a wave, you're basically saying I'm gonna do this until I get crippled or die. Like, there's not really much other way around it. Like, there's a big point to that. They didn't want people to join as an expeditionary. Oh no, I got a common cold. I guess I can't be an expeditionary anymore. Boom, I'm a colonist now. I don't gotta do dangerous work anymore. No. You're getting back out in the field with a fucking cold, or you're getting put against the wall.
And even to the point of, like, they have, like, robot limbs, so if you lose a leg, you can still possibly work. Depends on your personality, I suppose.
Well, that brings up a good point. Lena did help prevent the previous commander from getting assassinated by a traitor. It cost her arm. She now has a cybernetic, when I say cybernetic, mystical artifice arm. But I would say it's not an easy process. So
I was gonna say it could have been a Warforged's oldest time.
Someone already got the...
No. So yeah, that's Lena. She's your commander. She has her own friends. Blah blah. We'll introduce them down the line. Now, the point. That's the circumstance and context leading up to now. Now we can talk about how to get you in. Now, obviously you're an expeditionary because I'm pretty sure we didn't play this game to be farmers, but I don't know. Maybe we can run a different campaign for that where we can just reap the harvest and not die by dire wolves or something. But yeah. Depending on when you want to enter in, either the beginning of the 3 weeks of downtime or the end or the middle or whatever, you could have gone on a mission during this period. And you could have seen how things are out there in the Jagged Expanse. Because, fun tidbit, after the Night of Tempest, there have been no reports of Scorn up until about a few days ago. So for about 4 or 5 years. They thought that the Scorn just sort of started killing each other and not obviously didn't successfully genocide each other because that would be pretty
convenient.
Yeah, that'd be pretty convenient, but not likely. That being said, they were destroyed and racked and battered back enough to not see them anymore until as of a few days ago, where they were reported in the area again. So yeah, second wave planning has now kicked up in terms of magnitude. Because now Lena knows that the things that caused, I don't know, an apocalypse about a few years ago are suddenly back. So she's sending out a lot of people right now in terms of what's your job? Scout the area. If you see any Scorn, exterminate the shit out of them. She's sending out a good bit of people for that. Now, of course, it's a heavily regulated process because we can't just sick like 100,000, expeditionaries into the wilds. Like, all right, go get them. That's a bit chaotic and probably ineffective because everyone's gonna be stepping on each other's toes. But yeah, it is something she's doing. And that's not to say those are the only types of missions either. There are plenty of other missions. Scouting the nearby area is something that is sort of done, but scouting further is always a task. There's always creatures lurking about in the Jagged Expanse. This place is not so much you have to fight for every inch, but you definitely probably have to fight for every mile. Something at least. Not something deadly, but something at least. But other than that, I'm open to suggestions if you have a mission idea of your own.
I think.
Or you could just join in the party super early and not have to worry about mission.
I think it might make sense is if I came in. I mean, I have to come. So there's no way I could come in as martially adept and been recruited to join Expeditionary, go on a mission, and then based